Hello, welcome back to part 2 of our bottle drawing in Onshape, which is essentially getting familiar with the Loft command. And in this video, we want to look at applying the middle layer. We already in part 1 drew our base shape. So for part 2, the next thing that we're going to want to do is add a work plane and offset the work plane. So in my quick access toolbar, I will select plane and select the work plane that I want to offset it from. And I'm going to need to add an offset distance. And in this case, we're going to want it to be 50. And since we're here, we're going to go ahead and select edit. And we're going to call this the middle profile plane. Once I have that work plane, I can check it. And now you can see that you have a work plane to start drawing on. And if you would like, you can come over here. You can hide some of these work planes so that they're not in our way. And now I can choose to sketch on this work plane, and I can use this as a reference. And we'll talk about projecting geometry and bringing that up a little later. So I'm going to do Shift S and select the middle middle profile plane. And I'm going to right click View Normal to Sketch Plane. And from here, I'm going to want to select the ellipse. The ellipse is actually hidden. It's embedded within the circle command, and there is no hotkey for it, so you'll have to select the options arrow and then ellipse. And when I do my ellipse, I'm going to break it out, and it looks like in the drawing it's going to end up a little somewhere around there, but I will have a major and a minor axis that I will left click to activate, and it lets me know that it's vertical. You're going to want its point to be coincident inside, and that's where I will be when I drop it in. So turn on your constraints, and you can see here that I have it coincident, and it is actually on the horizontal. So let's go ahead and turn it off, and the next thing I'm going to want to do will be to apply my dimensions, which is D on the keyboard. And when I dimension my ellipse, I'm going to want the major axis to be 80, and then I can hover and left click over. Let's pick that guy, and I want my minor axis to be 45. Excuse me. And from there, it looks like that's all I'm going to need for this particular drawing. So I'm going to go ahead and select it. And you'll see that I now have two drawings on two different work planes that are offset. The next thing is I will want to do the top work plane. So again, I will select plane from the quick access toolbar. I'm going to select the work plane that I want to drag it up from or offset it. And the total distance will be 125 millimeters. And from there, I can rename this work plane as my top profile plane. And now I'm ready to add my sketch to this work plane. So Shift S on the keyboard, hover, left click on the work plane, right click, View Normal to Sketch. And this time I want to draw just a simple circle. So you can use the hotkeys, or you can use the quick access toolbar and go back to circle. I just want to make sure that it's coincident. So if I turn on my sketch constraint, the good news is it'll only show the constraints on this sketch. So it is showing me that it is coincident here. And I can finally add my dimensional constraint. So D on the keyboard, hover over the circle, and I want the diameter to be 40 millimeters. Once I have that, I can close out. And this will be actually all three of my sketches I'm going to need for the Loft command. So in video 3, we will actually apply the three-dimensional Loft command, rename the part, and look at the actual mass of the part for our quiz. See you all in a bit.